Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Apostle channel, where I'm passionate about helping middle-aged adults like me overcome the fear of leaving behind your six-figure job to start a business. And over here, that's what I've been doing. I've been documenting this here journey since um, July 24th, 2020, when the first time I quit my six-figure job to start a business. And it was a failure. It was a complete failure. It did not work. It did not work. So that was then. And along the way, I have tried and tried and tried. I've tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and failed to try, and then tried and failed again. And then, I had found success, or which I had thought I had found success at the time. Back, this here was June 26 or 7, 26 of 22, when I started my very first Turo business. And I started generating money. I started generating money right away with it. So it's the first business that I had did that generated more than $1.50 for some, something like the Amazon, whatever the thing was that I had tried in the past, which was many, like I've said before, tried many things that didn't work. This thing was like, generating real monies and stuff, like, hundreds of dollars were being deposited into my business checking account because of Turo. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, I quit my six-figure job, like I said, back in July, and along the way started multiple businesses. So Turo was something that I've been doing now for since June 26, 22, and then I officially ended it like August 1st or something like that. But I was, out of it. I had put my cars, had put them all on snooze, and then back in like the early part of July, whenever the last trip was, came back July 12th or something like that, with the final injury. It was like the straw that broke the camel back, because it was just too much. It was 1 week in that there were two windshields that needed replacing, um, and a scrape on the car, and then another vehicle with a side mirror crash and door can't even open it type of stuff, and ungrateful guests and all that stuff. And this was when I officially threw the towel in. I was down. I was knocked down back in December and January, but I got up right at like the ninth count. And I just want to thank my oldest son for that. He swooped in and kind of, woke me up and was like, get back out there. And, he was my corner person. He fixed me up, um, gave me some money, which I desperately needed, and reminded me that, hey, you are a registered nurse. You can go back to work, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So then, but that, yeah. So yeah, so I went back to work, and I was going to think like, why did I wait to go? Um, oh, I know what it was, because my oldest son's birthday is January the 29th, and he had recently moved to Columbia, South Carolina, and I was, going to visit him for his birthday, and so that's why I didn't. And then it takes a while to, to get back off to work. Anyway, so I did start back work in February after I got back from Columbia. But anyway, so that's what it was. Okay, yeah. So y'all see that I'm going to be talking about these pros and cons, and really because I'm just wanting to discourage anybody from trying to start or wasting their time with this here whole little Turo stuff, because is basically a job. And I had said that too. Y'all can see the videos that I started back in 22 when I started doing this whole Turo thing. And, that I knew then. I want to say probably around November is when I had come to the realization that I had created a job for myself. I had created a job for myself. Where are my cough drops? Okay, so I had created this job for myself, and yeah. And then when I had to go back to work and working as a nurse, 12 and a half hours is tough work, and it's like I can't be running a business while I'm working and stuff, right? Which was the reason why I was always in favor of, quitting your job to be an entrepreneur and all that good stuff, right? So, but now when I get off from working the 12 and a half hours, since I'm already a half a year into the Turo business, because I got back in at the end of January of 23, and then February I was all in, and until the end of June, really, or part of July. And so I get back now. I'm doing both. Hence the title of the video, which is managing Turo rentals with multiple cars while working full time. We'll give 5 pros and cons. But honestly, I really feel like it was all cons anyway, because that's why I'm out of business. I'm out. It was too much. It was a job. It was a second job. So again, now I'm back to work all in after completing the orientation, all that good stuff. I'm on the schedule, working since March, right? After finishing work, and I still have the Turo cars out there, and I just made myself open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And I was just, counting on, whatever to work out if like somebody made a booked a car or something like that during work time, right? So that's why I was closed at 7. However, because I put those exercise the rights to be flexible and try to curve my time, because I had to, I'm working now, I can't be available 24/7. Bookings started to slow up. And now I'm working full time. Then I've got this Turo business, which is another full time job. I'm like putting in 40 hours a week still, plus, well, I don't know. But anyway, plenty of hours a week, because as soon as I get off home from work, I'm back at the house washing cars to get them ready for these thankless guests who are depreciating my vehicles at rapid speeds. My beautiful, brand new 2022s, fresh off the lot, with 9 miles, 7 miles, 12 miles on them, just racking up all these miles, racking up all this wear and tear, people being careless, and I started to break like one of the cardinal rules is that you cannot be emotionally attached to these vehicles, right? And it's not that I was emotionally attached to the vehicles, but I was emotionally attached to the investment and the realization that even if it was making a profit, is this how I want to spend all of my time doing all this stuff for the business? Because like I said, I had just created a job for myself, and that's not the freedom that I was looking for, right? It's not the freedom that I was looking for at all, because I'm like, this is not job for me. No way. So anyway, but during the time in March, I'm excited because I'm working full time and I got this business and it's working, right? I'm happy to come home actually and watch the cars, because I'm proud of myself. Like, I got this business. Like, now I'm telling the story with this type of attitude, but in March, I was extremely happy and proud that I had how many cards I have? I think I had 5. I was working 5 edges, Mustang, and yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 because there was the Escape had a recall on it, and it was unlisted. Turo unlisted it. Like I told y'all about those recall stuff. So again, here's one that's out of the loop and not, available to generate any money, right? So I'm excited. So when I get most of the bookings, it was just the good universe that was working in my favor, that they would fall into days when I would be off work. So I would, wash the car. I would get the cars ready and still doing that. However, when the cars were going to be booked and it was on a work night, I would, be praying that please let the guests be on time so I could, at least get some sleep to be able to go back to my real job that was paying for all this stuff. Because again, I'm putting all these hours into Turo, and it's, it's just, it's not paying me anything. Yeah. It's just me doing this work really for free. Like, the idea that I just built this new job. Hey, yay. Welcome. Hey, daring Danielle. You are so welcome. Thank you. Yes, it was no. Please don't do it. Save yourself. Do not do it. It was a complete drain. And yeah, I'm just it was a learning experience, like I said. So I'm not bitter about it. However, it was not worth it. Daring Danielle in the house. Thank you so much for sharing an update. What made you decide to go back to work? I wasn't making any money, and I was running out of money because I was always making the ends meet with this whole Turo thing. And because businesses have a cycle. So when I started the Turo, I happened to get in. I happened to get in when, it was up. And two, like I had noted before, that when you first get started, a new listing is going to be top of the search engine, right? Regardless of any all stars and all that stuff, new listings always go boom to the top, right? So, and it's probably done to excite the host to feel like this is going to be something good. Oh, this will be good. Look, I'm making money, right? So, and I'm just laughing because I'm thinking back on like when I first got started, how excited I was. You know what I mean? Like Turo was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm gonna be making all this money because it was the first thing that I had done that like really, cha-ching, and that's how they get you too. Like when they get those emails that say cha-ching, right? So I'm excited because cha-ching's happening. So I get started. So July, August, and then September, I had the fateful accidents where 2 of the cars got crashed and I was down to 1. I go back to the Ford dealership and they say, oh, here comes this little sucker again. And they they qualify me for 5 more cars. So I get back out there. Now I have 6 cars out there. October was my biggest month at like 6,000 and something, right? 6,000 something. And November was bad. November slow, bad. December was like crickets. So now there's these months, let's see, November and December, where I'm having to pay the car notes out of I'm having to pay the car notes. I'm having to pay the car notes. I'm still having to pay the insurance. I'm having all of this outgo, and there is no income coming in here. There's like cricket. This is just slow. And this is my first time in this, so I don't know about these seasons. I get in there and the thing's working, right? It's like, I guess, gambling at Vegas when you're lucky that first time and you're winning and you think it's going to be like that all the time. So you book you another trip to go down there to Vegas so you can get on the roulette table to to turn that $20 back into the $3,000 that you won last time, the first time that you ever did it. Only this time it didn't work like that, and you end up losing money, right? So that's how I felt like it was. Anyway, so we get to the part of the cycle where business is slow. So here we go. November, December, I'm having to pay, you know, not only my personal car note, so 8 additional vehicles that I had purchased. Well, anyway, a few of them I had permanent owners. But anyway, I'm having to make the payments for all of these vehicles that are not generating any income. So December, the few bookings that I did have, I had ran into crappy guests, right? So like I told you, one girl puked in my vehicle with those bad kids. I'm hoping it was one of them and not them out drinking and driving and puking in my freaking car. Anyway, so that was not fun. And then, just crap after crap after crap. And I'm looking at my 22s, my beautiful new vehicles that were, and now people are trashing them. And I'm trying not to break the rule of, not getting emotionally attached, but now it's becoming a financial burden. So I went back to work because I had to. I had to go back to work because I had personally guaranteed a lot of the loans that I had taken out in the business name. So I had to go back to work because my credit score, starting to get taking hits, and things started to go bad. So I had to go back to work. I had to go back to work, and like I was just saying earlier, my oldest son really was the one that reminded me, because I had panicked, darling Danielle. I panicked. I froze. So when the cars were coming back all damaged, and I was worried, I tried to see. I did the look to see how much if I could try to sell them. But since I had just bought, it hadn't even been a year. I was like so upside down. I was, upside down in the payment where, I was going to take losses. So I'm trying to still think about, how do I, I was trying to joke, how do I get out of this thing, right? I didn't want the cars to get more damaged. And now all of a sudden, because, stuff happened, right? So I put the cars on hold and stuck my head in the sand until my oldest son was like, wake up, mama, get back out there, get these cars back out there, rent them, try to, recover the money here, and then just go back to work. So I did that. And it was the greatest thing that it took. I such a, at least a burden off of me to where I was like, at least I could do something. Like I was just a slave to it wasn't making any money. Wasn't making any money. And then people treating the cars like that. Darian said, yes, I can't wait to hear more. Thank you so much for listening. And that's why I said, you know what? I need to just come out here and tell these people the real deal. No, it was a complete drain. I'm like over 30,000, out of my money for the last 6 months that I've been paying to keep up all this stuff, because it's just, yeah. So anyway, and then the lesson that I learned too about the personal guarantee, which was another major factor for me to be like, I can't let my good name get tarnished. So for the last, since the end of February, when I finally got back to work, been paying all of the bills for this business that's not making any money. So I'm just thinking like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And so I just continue to try. But after this last little batch of the things happened, I was just like, this thing is, and I did the math, and I was like, no way. I'm just working, and my personal checks are going to pay for this. And then, like I said, it was really these ungrateful guests that I felt like didn't even deserve to be driving around in my, my hard earned vehicles, right? Because the reason why I was able to purchase new cars was because I worked hard to get a good credit score, and to do all these things. And then here, these low budget, I don't want to say too bad things about them, but some of the downfalls about Turo was that, or pros and cons was that it opened up the doors for anybody to be able to rent. Because in the past, if you didn't have good enough credit to have a major credit card, you could not rent a car. But Turo lets you rent with just an ATM card. So that means that people that may probably have, you're going to be renting to people that a lot of them could have bad credit, and people with bad credit tend to not take care of their stuff. That's why they don't have a car, right? So they're going to trash yours to be able to just do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, you're bringing that crowd of people in. Then the other thing, Turo allows young people to, you only have to be 21 for like, Avis and the budgets and the, traditional rental car places. You have to be 25, which is good because most people, you don't really mature until 25 anyway. And there was a young person, a 21-year-old, who polluted my car with all the weed, right? So, young people and stuff, right? But anyway, so you're opening the door to all that old stuff. So yeah, it was a complete loss. So I was like, no way, let me change this up. So I had, when I started the Turo business, I had made another LLC, TJ's Transportation. So that is the new company that is going to be owner financing the rest of the cars that I have in the fleet, because I'm just not going to let these people depreciate my vehicles any further, right? So the two Explorers come out with, okay, the black one had been in a hailstorm, and anyway, so there was some, the insurance or the claims, I got filed a claim for that, but to me, still, it's not worth it, even though, like, it seems like you're cashing in all this money. But keep in mind that your vehicle is not earning any money. So while I, got over $7,000 for the damage, and still, anyway, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it because you still can't rent the car out. You can't rent the car out. It wasn't worth it to me. Anyway, I have this cough. I think it's allergies. So excuse me. I'll be nursing on these cough drops throughout the throughout the live to make sure I'm not like coughing off. Let me see here. Daring Danielle said, "What do you think was the tipping point? Do you think if you had less cars, it would be more profitable?" Well, okay, so because of you've written it out like that, the chances keep increasing. The more trips it goes on before, boom, when the accident happens, something bad happens. Something bad happens. Something bad is going to happen, right? It's going to happen because the car is being touched by too many people. There's too many variables in it. So if you only have one car, so say I only had one car, right? In 2 months, I had 2 accidents, right? So the chances of, 2 months out of the business, I would have already been out of business. So yeah, I don't even think it was because of multiple cars. It was because it's a gamble. It's like a casino. It's like it's not good. Turo is the one making the money off of this. Definitely not the host. The hosts are Turo is the pimp, and the host is the host. You a hoe. You a hoe. You hoe. You is a hoe. Really. And Turo is pimping out your rides. Turo is pimping you out for your rides. For your rides. Yep. Daring said, well, did I finish this comment? No, it wouldn't have been more profitable because, no, there's no profit in Turo. People are lying. Is he daring? Danielle said, do you think the financial instability is causing an issue? You mean like with, yeah, because guess what? when Turo is, doing the price changes and all that stuff, they're trying to compete with the Avis and all that stuff. So they don't care. They'll just mark your car down to where, these little peanuts and stuff like that, because they're trying to make it to where people, can afford it and stuff. But they're still like charging them all these different fees and stuff like that. No, it's not. It's a, mm-mm. To me, it's not a business that's earning you any money, because you're working. The host is where you being pimped. You being pimped. I was washing those cars by hand, because when I hooked up with these mobile detailer, it was $25 for the Mustang and $35 for the SUVs, right? So I had 5 SUVs and the one Mustang, right, in the car or whatever. So you know what I mean? So I'm not making any money. Either I do it and keep the money, but is it worth it for me to spend 2 hours of my time to wash and detail this car? I'm a registered nurse. I mean, I make decent money, more than the $45 to I mean, like, it wasn't worth my time, to all the time that I was putting off into it. No way. It's not enough money. And yeah, nope, not for what I was bringing to the table. I wouldn't. No, 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 no. Yeah, the financial issues. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I just don't think Turo is no profitable business for no host, because most of the hosts, unless you are a dealer, right? If you're a dealer, then you probably should have your own rules. To me, it's just way too much work. Way too much work, because you're having to do all of the maintenance, and how frequently these oil changes and tire rotations come up. All these miles people putting on your cars and stuff. Then that means you still got to take time out of your day to take the car down there to get the oil change. And then sometimes it'd be like 2 of them needing to change in one day. It was way too much. I was working like a Hebrew slave, and I was paying too, because I wasn't making any money. I ain't trying to be no hoe. Let's see here. Darren Daniel said, "Are you planning on selling the cars?" Yes, that's what I was saying. And I've sold some too. Like the Mustang is sold, and the Black Explorer is sold too. So it's been a blessing for some people that may have like, there comes a time when everybody, or some people, may have some credit challenges, and maybe you have a great job where you can afford the car payment, but you just don't qualify for it. So come on down to TJ's Transportation, where you can purchase a mildly used Turo vehicle with these hit payments. So yeah, I am selling them off, and that's why I'm using the other LLC that I got to when I started the Turo business. So yep, selling them, I had to try to figure out how to recover this complete loss, right? So I have no good words to say about Turo. And there was a coach that contacted me after I had already been back to work, right? Their mistake is that they don't care about, how the pimp don't really care about the hoe. The pimp don't care about that hoe, right? And so if they had cared about the host and got in touch with me in the beginning, when I just put all these cars on your platform, to help steer me in the right direction on when to take back the unlimited miles, how to like really run this, right? They didn't contact me until way late, after I already went back to work anyway. So yeah. Nope, 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 nope. You see, Danielle said, "Do you think the area where you're operating affected the clientele you attracted?" Yep. Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you really too. Like I said, it's still cycle. So what happened was, when the cycle was low. Um, the cycle was low. The cycle was low. It was low for a lot of areas. It was low all over because I remember Tony from Tony Luxury Auto Vehicles said he was slow. It was slow there too. It's just slow all over, right? So there was yeah, I do that is true, that's true, I do the clientele because like I said, since Turo is opening up to people, anybody who just have an ATM card that it can swipe for it, if you got some grimy people that's don't pay their bills or just have a different mindset, it's a mindset, not everybody but some of them have a poor mindset, so they'll do things like be irresponsible with food and stuff in the car, right? Or just like can you, what did you do, you just poured the soda in there? Like what is all, was this hay, could you, I mean, like what did you, is this mud, like why didn't you even yeah, yep, yeah, yeah, yes. Danielle said, what if you had 2 or 3 cars versus 5 cars? Because, okay, let me just say this. There was never a time that all of the cars were operating on the platform. There was always something with one where, this one's in an accident. Now it needs to be these repairs. Oh, this one, the windshield, and this here, is always something. Oh, the lights. Oh, this one's in the shop because a guest drove almost 4,000 miles and wouldn't coordinate with me to change the oil. Almost burned the engine out, but burned out the air conditioning because they went to Arizona. They went over to the West Coast and then was in the Arizona with this horrible heat. Anyway, that car it was out for like about 10 days, so nope. I don't even think it was the amount of cars because there's always going to be something wrong with one of them. So if you have less cars, then it's going to be less money to make, right? And yeah, it's a gamble, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it is a gamble. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. The host, the host does not win. The host is the hoe. I'm telling y'all. Turo is the pimp and the host is the hoe. Oh, yeah. No, nope. Danielle said you financed the cars too. Yep. People didn't purchase outright. That's what I was saying. Okay, so most hosts aren't going to be dealers, right? So that means that most hosts are going to be buying their cars, their fleet at retail. They'll be purchasing their fleet at retail. They'll be purchasing your fleet at retail, meaning that you're going to be having some payments, right? You'll be having some payments. And with the amount of trips, like you're going to be pumping out, the amount of tricks, the amount of tricks you're going to be turning, it's maintenance and all that stuff be coming up, Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let me get back on this quick, finish this. I want to say a little bit more. Yeah. So you finance the cars too, yeah. People didn't purchase outright. So yeah, so I'm saying, so most hosts are going to be not dealers, right? So they're going to be purchasing the vehicles retail, right? So you're going to be already not that's cutting into your profits. That's cutting into your profits automatically. So this is a win if you are a dealer, then you get the vehicles at these low prices and stuff too. But like I was saying, I'm not mechanically inclined. And then too, it's the amount of work. I'm not trying to do all of that or hire it out and then make even less. Like I'm just having a headache. I don't want the headache of it, right? It's not worth it. It is not worth it. And see, Danielle said, have you spoken to any other Turo influencers about Turo selling the dream? No, this is actually new. Like this is real time. Like I literally just removed or deleted my all the listings, like I want to say it was August 3rd or something like that. And so now this is me now just talking about it. Like y'all can see, like I think it was like the last 3 or 4 days I've been, kind of like I feel like I'm like debriefing myself, like kind of letting it out. Like I'm no. I don't know. I did see one of Tony's videos where he's been on this platform come up here before. I think he's lost like 3 cars, so I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, for me, that last one, that, like I said, that 1 week I had to replace 2 windshields. My Mustang, comes back with a scrape on the side, and these are all different times. Then it comes back with a chip in the windshield, right? So I take it immediately to go get the little chip sealed, so that it doesn't spread. When they go to apply it, it spreads, right? So now, instead of a little small fee, I have to replace the whole entire windshield, right? But during that time, you can file a claim. Turo will reimburse you the money for it and stuff like that. So definitely not worth it. Definitely not worth it. No, so I haven't spoken to any Turos. I love that. Yes, Turo is selling you a dream. And I think some of these influencers may be selling a dream too, and like painting it like it's a prettier picture